Working with your own schedule in spite of where you are is something only achievable if you have a remote job. Getting one may seem tough in a saturated market with more and more people being introduced daily. However, today I will show you the exact things you have to follow in order to make your dream remote job in game dev a reality. I will show you the exact things that you have to consider in order to achieve this. So without further ado, let's start. 1. Social media presence. You can't expect to get a remote job if you aren't on the internet. And what I mean by social media presence, I don't actually mean you to create your own YouTube channel, to create your own profile in every social media and start working as a full-time content creator. That isn't the point. The point is that you start showcasing what you are doing, what you are up to. Also, maybe if you can teach people how they can do what you do. So that will basically start building your own audience and community to whom then you can sell your services, or if you can't directly sell their services to them, this will still give you visibility that will be super helpful when you are applying for these remote jobs. Why? Because if, for example, you have your own YouTube channel and you showcase there how to make games, if then you are applying for a remote job about course instructor, for example, they will already have a bunch of evidence that you are a good course instructor because you have a bunch of videos on your own YouTube channel about how to create courses. Okay? And this applies for literally everything. If you wanna be a game developer, a web developer, literally anything, not just about game developer. Or maybe it doesn't only limit to course instructor. For example, if you're applying for a game development position like that you will just directly develop games, if you have a bunch of videos about you developing games, there you have also proof. And trust me, in a very saturated market as game development, this will really help you stand out from the crowd, and therefore you will be able to actually have more chances of getting this remote job. Also, if you are a YouTuber, what you're also demonstrating to the recruiter or to the company or to whatever is the fact that you can have your own schedule, that you can work with technological tools in a remote place. So that will also empower you and position you as a top applicant. Because how many game developers you know that actually have a YouTube channel? Of course, not a lot of them. Point number 2, communication. And you may think, why do I need good communicational skills if I'm just a game developer? I just write code, and that is the biggest mistake you can ever make. We're in a society where everything moves based in attention. And how do you get people's attention? Basically having good communicational skills. This will also apply for social media presence, of course, because the better communication that you have, the better social media presence you will be able to have. However, this also applies, for example, if you're having an interview, you have to be able to express yourself in the best way possible. You have to be able to sell yourself in a way as if you were the best candidate out there available. Because again, everything is connected to the root point, and the root point is the fact that the market is oversaturated, because people of course know that here they're able to make a lot of money with much less effort than in other areas, with much less time. So if you're able to sell yourself with your communicational skills as the top applicant of the job, probably you will just get it. Moreover, that belief that I told you at the beginning of this point, that as game developers you shouldn't really learn about communicational skills, will also position you as one of the best applicants. Because if, for example, they have 10 interviews and 9 of the game developers that they interview are quite well, but their communicational skills are quite poor. But on the other hand, if they then interview you and not only are you a good game developer but also you have amazing communicational skills, these facts will also make you stand out from the other 9 applicants and will probably get you that remote job. Finally, what you also have to consider is that in remote jobs, communication takes a vital role. Why? Because of course you aren't in an office, you aren't in a face-to-face place, so communication must stay as clear as possible. You probably are going to have a lot of meetings, you probably will have to be super organized, and communication overall is gonna play a key role. 3. Catch the attention. And yeah, this is of course connected to the previous 2 points. Attention will be super important for you, for your social media presence, and also it's gonna be highly influenced by your communication. However, specifically in this point, what I wanna be talking about is to catch the attention through the games and projects that you create and then that you showcase. because even though if you have created a bunch of games, if they don't actually catch the attention of their recruiter, if they are actually different, or if they have some unique points, probably you won't make it. Because again, there are a bunch of people creating games, and probably they are creating even better games than you. So if you aren't actually able to catch the attention with the games and projects that you showcase, you aren't gonna get that job. And you may think, how can you catch the attention? Okay, this doesn't mean reinventing the wheel, because the wheel is already invented, and it's quite difficult to actually, I don't know, invent from complete scratch a complete new game genre that revolutionizes the game development. It isn't about it. It is more about taking what is actually currently working on the game development, and actually in a way looking for their disadvantages or points that are a little bit weak, basically their weaknesses, and see how you can improve these weaknesses. Not only improving the existing mechanics, but also trying to merge them. For example, if there are two games that are quite cool, how could you merge them in just one product that then you can showcase? This is a technique used by a lot of companies in order to create games that have already given proof that they work, that their core gameplay and their mechanics already work. So this will allow you to actually stand out from the crowd, and you will actually showcase something that is different from other games. 4. Good looking CV and portfolio. All this literally will be in vain if you haven't built correctly your CV and your portfolio. We are in an era where there are a bunch of tools that will help you create both your CV and portfolio in the best way possible, and also spending the less time possible. So literally, there is no excuses when it comes to creating a good looking and also efficient CV and also portfolio. So let me quickly show you how you can build your CV and portfolio in just a minute, so that you can start creating your perfect CV and portfolio. So here you have my own portfolio. I'll go quite quickly about this, because I think that if you just pause the video here and you go over the different sections, it will be quite self-explanatory, but let me go over the most important points. And those are basically that you have to create something quite simple here, a banner that showcases your main games, okay? Then your game, the positions, some contacts, super important to have here your phone and your email at the top of it, some social media links, also your photo. And also here it's very important for you to have an about me section, but a mistake that always happens is that people usually make it super long, and taking account that recruiters will only take from 30 to 45 seconds in order to take a look at your portfolio and define if you are gonna be useful or not, or basically if you're gonna be a good fit or not. So you don't really have lots of time to explain lots of things on the about me section, so make it as short as possible. In fact, I will only recommend you to write from 2, 3, 4 sentences max. And then below your about me section, you should have your professional experience. And here are 2 key points. Not only should you write about the company, the role name, and the dates, but also a pretty brief description of just 1 sentence of what the role was about, something about the company, wherever that helps rapidly describe what the role was about. And then if you are able to create some projects, games, etc. that are worth showcasing, showcase them, of course. And then if you're even able to add here a link for them to download them directly on the Play Store or anywhere, or maybe a video of something, even better, okay? And if you have no experience or you don't have a lot, what you can also add is just you as an indie game developer, and here the games that you have created as an indie game developer. Here are also sections, other sections that you can take a look at, but I don't find them super useful or super important in terms of if the recruiter will determine if you are a good or not fit. And finally, when it comes to your portfolio that you can go to mine following this URL, the layout that you have to follow, the information that you have to write is quite the same, okay? So basically, what is the main difference here is that you're going to be showcasing it in a much more dynamic way, because you will have some animations. You will have other tools that, of course, the document doesn't allow you, but the key information, the core of it, is exactly the same. In conclusion, if you follow all these 4 things, you will eventually get the job. It is super important that as we are going to be applying for remote jobs, you really focus on having a global presence in all social media, and not only having a good social media presence, but also adding to that good communicational skills that will make you stand out. Also, you have to learn how to catch the attention to make the most of your social media presence and make you stand out in the interviews, for example. And also you have to put all that super important information in a good looking CV and portfolio as I showed you. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it was, please consider subscribing, liking and commenting the video as well, because this will help the video get to more people and hopefully help them as I did with you. So see you on the next one, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.